If you run a digital agency making between $500K to $3 million a year, I made this video just for you. If you watch this video until the end, my goal is that you have a rigid perspective on how the market is being shaped and the dynamics between AI, agencies, and clients. And more importantly, actionable strategies that you can use to position your agency for survival and growth in the coming years. Before we dive into this, it's important to understand where your agency actually sits in the market landscape so that this video is actually practical. I'm going to introduce two frameworks that will help you understand your current position and, more importantly, where you're vulnerable. The first one is going to be your rating. This is how the market perceives your value. Then we'll look at your service level, what you actually deliver. Together, these two frameworks create a map, and on this map, there are safe zones and danger zones. Let me show you where you land. The rating pyramid has 4 levels. You have luxury, niched, mass marketed, and discount. If you're rated as luxury, you're likely a high-touch boutique agency where you have 50K as your monthly retainers, white glove services, C-suite relationships, etc. And then if you're in the niche, you're probably a specialized agency with a deep vertical expertise, maybe around 15 to 50K monthly per retainer. Then you get to mass marketed, and this is where you have your mid-tier generalist agencies. They're maybe charging 5 to 15K for their monthly retainer. It's usually a pretty broad service offering. Lastly, you have discount, and these are the agencies that are just volume-based, and they're charging anywhere between 1K to 5K monthly. Your rating is derived from the associations of your brand. In particular, when your brand is put together with 4 other brands, that's where your rating comes from. Now I want you to point out where your agency is, not where you want it to be. If you're realizing now that you're not in the tier you want to be, that's a whole other topic. Nextly, we have the service level spectrum. And on one hand, you can be execution only, and on the other hand, you have strategy only. And in the middle, this is where full service lies, where you offer both. It'd be senseless to speculate about the future without taking a glimpse into the past. The digital agency model emerged from the revolutionary potential of the internet, fundamentally transforming how businesses approach business. Kind of makes the AI potential that we have today feel like deja vu. Anyways, following the dot-com crash in 2000s to 2002, businesses became ever more aware and strategic about their online presence, shifting focus from mere visibility to measurable results and return on investment. The early 2000s witnessed the rise of SEO and social platforms. Digital marketing agencies began offering specialized SEO services alongside web development, email marketing, and online advertising. So let's talk about how agencies used to work, the model that dominated for decades. The traditional agency setup throughout the 2010s was built on 2 main pillars that are now pretty legacy. Firstly, there was the full-time equivalent billing. Basically, agencies charged you based on how many hours their staff worked on your account. Your bill was directly tied to their time, not your results. And secondly, the generalist approach. Back then, traditional agencies tried to be your one-stop shop for everything. They'd position themselves as comprehensive solution providers, like your agency of record, handling all of your marketing services. These 2 pillars led to many challenges that forced the evolution of the model. Like, for example, you have misaligned incentives. When agencies made money based on hours worked instead of results delivered, their interests were literally the opposite of their clients. The longer a project took, the more money they made. Not exactly a recipe for a win-win. And also, there was expertise dilution. As agencies tried to offer more and more services to compete, they spread themselves too thin. They couldn't maintain real, deep expertise across every area. You'd have the same team trying to be experts in SEO, paid ads, social media, email marketing, web development. It was impossible to be genuinely great at all of it. And finally, you had scalability issues. This model just didn't scale. To make more money, you had to take on more projects and hire more people. But as your team grew, so did all the overhead costs. Everything grew proportionally within headcount, which meant your profit margins actually got worse as you got bigger. Recognizing these flaws, the agency landscape transformed into what your agency probably looks like today. The 2010s saw a new breed of agencies emerge, leaner, more specialized, leveraging software to punch way above their weight class. An average 2015 agency might have needed 30 people to generate the revenue of a 20-person agency in 2020. Instead of trying to do everything for everyone, they went deep on specific expertise. The pricing model also shifted. Gone were the days of hourly billing and endless scope creep, or at least that was the goal. Agencies moved to retainers, performance deals, and productized services. It eliminated all that scope ambiguity, which gave them better margins and let them scale without hiring proportionally. So now we're up to today. What's happening today? An agency built today versus an agency built 5 to 15 years ago is an astronomical difference. In the same way that the SaaS boom gave agencies much higher efficiency boosts in 2010, AI enables that same improvements again. So in 2010, you might have had a team of 30. In 2020, you might have a team of 20. But in 2025, you can have a team of 2 doing the same amount of revenue as those other 2 agencies. Today, we're seeing tons of 2-man digital agencies making anything in the range of 40 to 200K a month. Jared Friedman, managing director of the biggest startup accelerator, Y Combinator, framed it this way. Rather than building products for marketing agencies, founders should start AI-native marketing firms, staffed with agents that can handle client onboarding, campaign creation, and so on. It's not a debate. Any agency owner would rather those profit margins and without the headache of large teams. These new agencies are just objectively better. We'll get more into how these AI and software-driven agencies actually do it a bit later in the video, after we really understand the shift that's happening. Rising costs of people and AI commoditizing execution are the 2 tightening factors. It's a race to the bottom. Agency owners like yourself are trying their hardest to utilize AI to not get left behind. You're scrambling to implement AI agents and automations, but realistically, you're too busy with real problems, like improving the client pipeline and managing the team. But if I were to put you side by side with the agencies being created these days, in the same way that the 2010 agencies killed the agencies from the 2000s, the agencies from 2025 are going to kill the 2010 agencies. It happens in 3 phases, and it's a very similar visual to how AI is affecting the company pyramid. So let's start with what's already happened. Phase 1, the technical wipeout. The cost difference between AI-powered execution versus traditional human delivery is insane. What used to cost $5,000 in man-hours, you can now get done in a sliver of the time and for a fraction of the cost. This essentially makes any low-level work that doesn't really take any skill redundant. Any agency that was purely on the execution side of the service level spectrum is redundant. At the same time, agencies that are being rated as discounted or mass-marketed are also being popped out of the pyramid. The ones that are replacing them are the AI-first agencies we mentioned. AI-first agencies are built from the ground up with AI as a part of its original SOP, whereas your agency, you probably dread it and feel lost about how to transition into an agency that uses AI. This isn't only happening at a market level. Within companies, junior employees no longer have a higher ROI than a senior using AI. This is why we're seeing such a decline in entry-level hiring. If we were to derive a new agency founder's hourly rate, it'd be in the high hundreds to even the thousands. And this isn't theoretical. Take myself, for example. Thanks to AI coding tools and my 7 years of programming experience, I'm able to deliver in 6 weeks what a traditional dev house would finish in 6 months, all without the headache and costs of having to manage countless engineers. From both the client perspective and the agency owners, it's better for everyone. Niche and luxury rated agencies aren't having customers churn just yet. This is the first domino falling. All that tactical work, the blog posts, the social media content, data analysis, the ad copy, it's all moving to AI. Now this is probably when you're thinking, yeah, but AI doesn't have my experience and my expertise. It can do the job, but it can't do a great job. And you'd be totally right. It's just a delivery machine. You still have a moat. This begs the question though, for how long? How long will it take AI to be able to have your experience and thinking encoded into itself? I'd say I'm uniquely qualified to answer this one. A client of ours, ValueStack, have built a product called EchoAI, which I would describe as GPT on steroids. EchoAI is made to allow experts and consultants to train an AI to give the ability to replace their actual thinking. Now, if our tiny boutique SaaS agency is working on this, how long is it really going to take for an average tech product to be able to also provide strategy at an expert's level, not just AI fluff? A tech product that offers strategic advice plus execution in one package. Not just here's some content, but here's your entire go-to-market strategy, and by the way, we'll execute it too. And once again, I'm not talking about AI fluff. I'm talking about real experts training AI agents to act and think like they would. This is when the value provided by a single tech product matches your agencies. This means you're not only competing with AI-first agencies, but now with software alone. Strategic consulting is becoming a software feature rather than human expertise. This is the second domino. We had execution commoditized, and at this point, you'd have strategic advice commoditized as well. Then, your only moat would be, take a look at Magix. The AI marketer works like your personal AI ad agency. What is the only reason a customer would pay you $5,000 per month compared to $50 a month for the software? I'm going to use Alex Hormozi's value equation to help answer this question most accurately. So the value to the customer is equal to the dream outcome multiplied by the perceived likelihood of achievement divided by the time delay and the effort and sacrifice the customer has to go through. Let's go through this equation one by one. Firstly, dream outcome. This represents how much a person wants the end result or transformation you promise. And since this is dependent on the prospect, it's the same across both an agency and a full software solution. So this will be a 1x. Let's be super conservative and say AI tools only reduce time and effort by a factor of 10. The effort and sacrifice part refers to the total physical, mental, or emotional work a customer believes they must invest to achieve the outcome. I would say a software solution requires much less mental and emotional work since it's offline and in their own time. And a solution with an effective user interface and experience also makes it more time effective. Let's say overall, it's 3 times less that the customer thinks they have to give you in terms of effort and sacrifice. And that leaves us with the perceived likelihood of achievement. This is where the battle between agencies and AI will be won or lost. So far, the software offer is 30 times more valuable than yours, and it's 100 times cheaper. So this is saying that the relative likelihood that an agency can achieve the customer's dream outcome has to be at least 30 times more than the trust that the software has. And I'd say that's accurate. This is because this factor is all about trust. A real agency has years of proven results. When a client looks at your agency, they see case studies from real companies in their industry, testimonials from real people that they can verify, a track record that demonstrates you've solved this problem before. Software doesn't have any of that. AI platforms can't point to a 5-year relationship with a client who grew from 2 million to 10 million under their guidance. On top of that, the AI space has had so much smoke and mirrors that no one today actually believes that an AI platform can actually do better than a meta ads expert. But this bridge is closing fast. Once AI can demonstrate proof of its strategic recommendations, so case studies, win rates, and data that says this approach worked for 47 companies in your vertical with an average ROI increase of 34%. What exactly do agencies have left? 2 things. 2 remaining value propositions. Number 1, pure convenience. Software might give your clients the strategy and the execution, but they still have to manage it. Some clients will pay a premium just to not think about it. Number 2, human accountability. Someone to blame when things go wrong. A real person who picks up the phone, who has skin in the game, and who you can hold accountable. This is the third domino. Proof of results removes the final advantage you had over a tech product. So let me ask you this. When software can show you its win rate regarding how its strategy and execution achieves results, what exactly are you selling? So what do? You've got 2 paths. And honestly, most agencies won't pick either. They'll just keep doing what they're already doing until the clients stop calling. Don't be that agency. The first path is you become the software. This is the aggressive move. You take everything you know, your processes, your frameworks, your strategic playbook, and you encode it into proprietary tools. You're not just using AI, you're building the AI. You're not competing with software, you are the software. You capture the value migration before someone else does it to you. This isn't you jumping ship though. The 3 phases will happen over time, and in the same way, you can also make the shift over time. Our agency to SaaS model is our playbook of how agencies can add tech products to their value ladder while maintaining their service side. You can check out the video in the top right to learn more about that. This path has the highest upside, but it requires technical capability, capital, and a willingness to fundamentally transform your business model. The second path is you own the relationship. This is the luxury play. You'll eventually stop selling strategy and execution, but rather guarantees and trust, peace of mind. You become the human in the loop that people trust. You're accountable, you pick up the phone, you have skin in the game. They pay you for oversight, guarantees, and white glove convenience. All while using tons of AI in your backend to compete with every other agency. Software can't give you someone to blame. It can't give you a relationship. It can't care about your success the same way a real partner can. This path is thin and the market will shrink, but it's defensible for premium players who nail the service experience and have a good rep in their niche. If you're serious about leading your agency through this transition, you need to see what's really happening inside your operation. Not theory, not opinion, data from your actual workflows. That's exactly why we built ValueTracker, and we're offering it to the first 5 agencies that sign up for free. Here's how it works. We install a lightweight tracker on your team's computers. For 1 to 2 weeks, it quietly captures screenshots as your team does their normal client work. Then AI in the cloud processes everything and turns it into a visual map of your operation, showing you where your team is bogged down in repetitive work, which bottlenecks are slowing down your delivery, the workflows that can be turned into automations and eventually even full SaaS products. It's your business laid out clearly in data. If you're ready to see what's happening under the hood of your operation, click the first link below to sign up. If this video felt like it was helpful and if it was valuable, feel free to share it with another agency owner who needs to hear this. And I'll see you in the next one.